Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. So this one, I've actually recorded this so many times, I kept having issues with OBS. So, yeah, sorry if I sound a bit exhausted. This is like, I don't know, recording number 4, I think. I was using the wrong microphone, then it wasn't picking up desktop audio, and oh, kill me. Anyway, so, also I'm quite reluctant, because it's Tomb Kings, and I'm trying to learn how to enjoy Tomb Kings. I've been trying all sorts of ridiculous stuff out, like, double Hydra Titan builds and things like that. But I always end up just defaulting to something like this. There's just so many units that I feel I just can't really make use out of. So yeah, so I've just gone back to basics, basically. So, shout out to Great Bows. Yeah, I'm against Dark Elves, and so just being able to do a ton of damage from a distance is, yeah, it's just great, isn't it? I mean, I guess it's similar to, you know, my Empire game. I always try and use artillery to take out elite Dark Elf units, so it's similar, you know, it's similar. But anyway, I also have a load of Spearmen in the front line, I've got the King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion, and I've got Tomb Guard with Halberds, so having poison on spears is great, and having silver shields on halberds I just think is amazing. I love that. But they're only 50 armor, which is a bit pathetic, but it'll do, it'll do. They're quite good units, I like them. And with Realm of Souls, you know, they keep getting healed up. It's nice. Sepulchral Stalkers, I think, are superb. I love these guys. I think they're so much more cost-effective than Necropolis Knights with halberds for anti-large, because that charge defense versus all, they get charged, and they just don't care. So against other cavalry, they just do a fine job of defending. They're really good. And that poison missile damage, it's pretty great. The poison's great, but the missile damage seems really misleading. I swear that it just doesn't do damage. I keep seeing them shoot things, and I swear the damage never really takes. It's kind of bizarre, but oh well, whatever. They're just great. Anti-large, armor-piercing, lovely. Really good at dealing with cavalry. So I like these guys, they're fun. And, I mean, that's kind of my army, really. Oh, and Cetra, of course. Cetra, the imperishable. He takes himself very seriously, but he is a force to be reckoned with, so, you know, you can't really argue. So, over here, I do have some carrion as well. So, these guys, I want to basically just jump on bolt throwers and such. But there are no bolt throwers. This army's pretty damn cool, actually, this Dark Elf army. I really like it. So, he's got Supreme Sorceress of Fire. The Burning Skull will just tear through a Tomb King front line. They just don't have the armor to hold up against something like that. And if they're engaged with the enemy front line, which is all armored, well, except the, you know, apart from the Dread Spears. But anyway, yeah, even if it veers off course, it's barely going to touch these guys. The Tomb Kings can take the brunt of it, so it's pretty cool. Also, yeah, the fire weakness that Tomb Kings have, you know, with their Lords and Heroes, is huge. You want to take advantage of that. I mean, anything they're fighting, Flaming Sword Ruin, and that thing will do way better. So it's very scary. Also, Cold One Chariots. These guys, I really like them in this matchup. I think this is a really great idea, because they also could be really good at killing all the chaff, just running up and down the line, but that missile damage is no joke. 102 with a ton of armor piercing. I mean, between the two of them, they could whittle down some pretty good, you know, pretty good constructs, like, pretty quickly. So, I really like these guys. They could really put a lot of pressure on. So, yeah, I may have to test this out at some point myself. It's a cool pick. And also, last but not least, actually, no, I haven't talked about the front line, really, but anyway, Cold One Knights, right? So, anti-large, armor-piercing, which is really useful. I really like these guys. They're really sturdy. But, of course, if he charges my Sepulchral Stalkers head-on, then they're not going to get that 56 charge bonus. So that's nice. So the front line, yeah, it's Argonauts Executioners, which is terrifying. That's going to kill any infantry, and the Blackguard are going to do a ton of damage to any constructs that I might have. So this is scary. I mean, my Spearmen aren't going to hold this back very well, let's be honest. But I'm getting a ton of damage into them with the Great Bows, because, you know, Great Bows do what they do. So, oh, yeah. And Dark Riders as well. So this is also a bit of a nuisance for me. But yeah, he has Dark Riders in the back too. So very clever. So here you're going to see these guys, they start spitting at the Cold One Knights over here. So yeah, pew 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 pew. I mean, there's a bit of damage, I guess. Anyway, they get charged and barely does the thing. Look at that. Barely anything. So that's awesome. That is so useful. So here, Cetra's actually going to join the fray. He does get fireballed in the butt, but that's fine. And the Carrion are now going to start harassing the Supreme Sorceress. So, you know, one way to use them, that'll be good. And here the Blackguard taking a ton of damage, but there's a massive hole here. There's a massive hole. They could easily get into all this nonsense. I'm trying to screen all this cav. I was trying to just take this stuff out quickly and then get back into the fray. But I mean, this is looking dangerous. I need to bring these Tomb Guard in here because, yeah, my Spearmen are already crumbling. So this will be Tomb Guard against all of this. Oof, yeah, not ideal. So here I'm pulling back my Shabti, but they just take a charge from Dark Riders, which is annoying. So here my Sepulchral Stalkers are going to have to basically play defensively this whole battle. So over here, this is crafty. The Supreme Sorceress actually dived into the front line, so my Carrion followed her in. And that burning skull has done a lot of damage to a lot of my stuff here. This is worrying for me, to say the least. So here, I'm trying to pull out my Shattered Great Bows. Oh, and yeah, here we go. Yeah, more Dark Riders. So that is awful. And with Murderous Prowess going, they're actually going to do a ton of damage here. They're doing really well. Far better than I would like. And here, also, the Cold One Chariot still being a nuisance, but I have used the Incantation of Desiccation, so that's really debuffed everything here. And the rest of the Cold One Knights over here are getting dealt with. So now, I've got these Sepulchral Stalkers that can continue being on defense, and amazingly, my Tomb Guard actually surviving here. So in a second, I will actually drop Ushabti right on top of all this stuff. I know there's Blackguard in here, but they're pretty injured. And yeah, these Hargan Executioners are going to take a lot of damage from Ushabti. So yeah, right on top of everything. And luckily for me, the Cold One Chariots decide to rampage. That's nice. So also, Cedra is going to follow it up. He's used his ability, what's it called? The Blessed Blade of Tra. And he's going to use that big old explosion, which I also can't remember the name of. So, pretty great. It's going to do some good damage to all this stuff. So I like that. I like that very much. And I'm shooting at them, so that's nice. But over here, these Ushabti are getting their asses kicked. Look at this. It's just Dark Riders. Die already. Jesus. So, that's just awful. Yeah, Dark Riders, apparently crazy cost-efficient way to deal with Ushabti Great Bows. So, yeah, this video is worth it just for that, guys. So, here, yeah, trying to bog everything down as best I can. Try and stop things from coming in here, because I'm trying to whittle away at what I can, where I can. You know, do some damage to something while delaying the rest. There's not much else I can do apart from that, to be honest. So, Cedra's in the thick of it here. These guys are spitting poison at people, which, you know, yeah, fair enough, guys, fair enough. Do what you do. Big old fireball. I think I missed Cedra, thanks to his attack animation. That's good news. So the armor piercing and Sepulchral Stalkers, again, will help actually get through things like the Hargan Executioners, especially because all this stuff has been debuffed again. Let's look at the Blackguard. They have 10 melee attack and 21 melee defense. Let's be honest, that's a bit crap. Yeah, that spell is amazing. Incantation of Desiccation. It just makes this whole blob useless. Having an AoE Enfeebling Foe, I mean, that's what it is. And that's massive. Enfeebling Foe is a fantastic spell. So be able to use that on all of this stuff simultaneously, it's pretty crazy. And it's pretty cost effective, honestly. It's not that expensive. I think it's what, like 12 or something? It's not bad. But it hits so much stuff. It's great. Especially when stuff blobs up, which they often do around constructs and things, you know. So, pretty damn cool. So yeah, getting some good damage in this here, you know, in this here stuff. I've suddenly gone all western, I don't know. Anyway, getting some good damage in this stuff. And you see the Ushabti Great Bows, you know, they're just free to shoot things now. They can outrun anything that's left. All the cavalry's been dealt with, you know. Well, these chariots may come back, but I doubt it. Sorry, chariot. So, yeah, I'm pretty safe now. You know, these guys can kill everything. I've managed to weather the storm, and yeah, I've come out of it with an advantage. So, yeah, I start shooting at the Supreme Sorceress. She takes a ton of damage, and everything shatters. Army losses hits. Pyrrhic victory. Oh, it's not that Pyrrhic. I mean, they were dead to begin with. Don't worry about it. But yeah, went pretty well. Went pretty well. I mean, yeah, I'm trying so hard to enjoy the Tomb Kings. I had a real problem with them. I used to loathe them. They are so much better in the last patch. They're much more fun to fight, you know, much more versatile armies, much more interesting. You know, you see chariots now, which is really cool. There's all sorts of things that Tomb Kings can do. But I still find myself just defaulting to a build like this, because it just seems the most reliable. It just has all the bases covered. I find as soon as you start trying to use any other units, you always end up with a big gap somewhere. You know, a big weakness somewhere. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. I find Tomb Kings very confusing. But yeah, I really want to like them. So guys, this is a plea from me. If you know any like weird you know, units that aren't here, aren't at this roster, but you know work wonders in certain matchups, I'd love to hear about it. You know, I'd love to try out some more things, because there's a lot of stuff I feel like they just don't really do much. I find I'd always be better with something like this build rather than well, using anything else, honestly. It almost doesn't matter who I'm facing. This kind of thing seems to be sort of a, you know, the best the best way to go. So yeah, I don't like that. I mean, they have a lot of you know, variety, and I want to be able to use that. And I don't know, I struggle with it. So I mean, that's the thing, guys. You know, I'm sure I'm a YouTuber, but it doesn't make me an expert on everything, right? It's give and take. You know, that's why a comment section exists, is so you guys can put in suggestions and tell me when I'm being dumb. You know, that's what it's for. So please do use it for that, you know, because you know I read them all. Anyone who's commented before, I try and reply to everything. So it is good. If you guys have any, you know, good ideas for making Tomb Kings fun, please post them, because I'm happy to try anything at this point, because I just find them really dull, which is such a pity, because they look incredible, you know. Obviously I do all the cinematic shots on my channel, and with something that looks as good as the Tomb Kings, they should be perfect for it, right? But it's tough to do when I don't really enjoy playing the faction much, so I'm willing to play around with them, guys. I am willing to do that, because they're cool as hell, but I just don't click with them somehow. So I want us to remedy that, you know, so we can move on with our lives. So it's not Tomb Kings, guys. It's me. Okay, it's me. But yeah. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, you know, despite it getting quite weird at the end, yeah, then please do comment, like, and subscribe. And yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.